The hospital took away everything of mine, even my clothes, and gave me a robe. All my things were radioactive. My father, sister, and brother all came to Moscow and brought me things. On the 9th of May, Victory Day from the war, Vasya asked me to open the window so he could see the fireworks. And then he pulled 3 red carnations out from under his pillow and gave them to me. He had given the nurse money. She bought them. I ran over to him and kissed him. Later, I was in the hallway and I got dizzy. And a doctor came by, took me by the arm, and then suddenly, "Are you pregnant?" No. I was scared. "Don't lie," he sighed. The next morning, the head doctor calls me to her office. "Why did you lie to me?" she says. "There was no other way. If I'd told you, you'd have sent me home. It was a sacred lie." "What have you done?" she said. "I was with him. All my life I'll be grateful to that head doctor that she let me in. Other wives came, but they weren't let in. Only the mothers of the men. They were no longer fertile. They couldn't give birth. Volodya Pravik's mother sat with him the whole time, kept begging God, take me instead.
Sergei Sobolyev, Deputy Head, Executive Committee of the Shield of Chernobyl.
I'm actually a professional rocketeer. I specialize in rocket fuel served at Baikonur, our space launch center. It was a miraculous time. You give people the sky, you give them space. Every person in the Soviet Union went into space with Yuri Gagarin. For family reasons, I moved to Belarus, finished my career here. When I came, I immersed myself into this Chernobylized space. It was a corrective to my sense of things. I'd always dealt with the most advanced technologies, but still, it was impossible to imagine anything like this. We collect donations, visit the sick and dying, we write chronicles, we're creating a museum. Sometimes I think we have a funeral parlor, not a museum. This morning, I haven't even taken off my coat when a woman comes in, she's crying. Not even crying, but yelling. Take his medals and his certificates. Take all the benefits. Give me my husband. She yelled a long time and left his medals, his certificates. Well, they'll be in the museum on display. People can look at them. But her cry? No one heard her cry but me. And when I put these certificates on display, I'll remember it. Colonel Yaroshuk is dying now. He's a chemist dosimetrist. He was healthy as a bull. Now he's lying paralyzed. His wife turns him over like a pillow. She feeds him from a spoon. He has stones in his kidneys that need to be shattered, but we don't have money for that kind of operation. We're paupers. We survive on what people give us. And the government behaves like a moneylender. It has forgotten these people. when he dies, they'll name a street after him, or a school, or a military unit. But that's only after he dies. Colonel Yattershuk, he walked through the zone and marked the maximum points of radiation. They exploited him in the fullest sense of that term, like he was a robot. And he understood this, but he went. At the reactor, they tried using robots' machines to put out the fire, but the radiation was too much for them. The robots couldn't function, so they had to send in men, human beings, soldiers. 210 military units were thrown at the liquidation of the fallout of the catastrophe. This equals about 340,000 men. The ones cleaning the roof had lead vests, but the radiation came from below, and they wore cheap, ordinary boots. They spent about 2 minutes on the roof each day, and then they were discharged, given a certificate and 100 rubles. They were all young guys. They're dying now, but they understood that if it weren't for them, they were a sacrifice. There was a moment when there existed the danger of a nuclear explosion, and the explosion would have been between 3 and 5 megatons. That would have meant that not only Kiev and Minsk, but a large part of Europe would have become uninhabitable. Can you imagine it? A European catastrophe.